the centre-back that Manchester United should sign this summer. Before the video starts, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notified whenever we upload a video. Also check out some of our previous podcast clips, including my analysis of Manchester United's problems and why Manchester United shouldn't sign Bruno Fernandes. Those videos will be linked in the description below, as well as other videos like a tactical analysis of Leicester City, 3 central midfielders that Manchester United should sign, and the 3-year plan for Manchester United's potential Saudi billionaire takeover. So I've gone through some of my major United problems earlier on in the podcast, but for the rest of the podcast I'll be focusing on purely on transfers and how United can improve the personnel in their squad. So in terms of the areas to improve, United definitely need at least 2 central midfielders who can play in a midfield double pivot, a Paul Pogba replacement who can play in the attacking midfield spot, a right winger to replace Juan Mata and Andreas Pereira, and a left back to improve upon the injury prone Luke Shaw, and probably also a centre back if the funds are there to potentially upgrade on Lindelof and the injury stricken Eric Bailly. So if we start from the back, the centre back position is the first place to look for an improvement. Whilst Maguire has had his dodgy moments this season, he is still a top centre-back and will be United's man to play in that left centre-back position for the next 5 or 6 seasons. Lindelof, Tuanzebe and Eric Bailly are all good centre-backs, but United could look to improve upon them. Lindelof, especially last season, looked to have turned a corner in his United career. He looked a lot better at dealing with one-on-one situations and stepping out from the back line to make an interception. However, he has always looked weak in aerial situations. An example of this was against Crystal Palace this season when he failed to beat Jeffrey Schlupp in the air, which led to the ball being headed through for Jordan Ayew's goal. He has also looked positionally lax in a number of games this season and seems to get his positioning wrong in the back line, which allows through balls to be threaded through for strikers to run onto, as seen against Manchester City just a few weeks ago. Eric Bailly cannot be relied upon as he's far too injury prone and has seemingly been out of action for almost 2.5 seasons now. He has signed a 2-year contract extension, so either United will look to sell him in the summer for around 20 million or look to give him another chance next season. Tuanzebe is only 22, so still has a lot of developing to do, but I would like to see him given a chance over Lindelof for the rest of the season, as he seems to have the physicality and positional awareness that Lindelof lacks. Despite this, with players like Jones, Smalling and Rojo needing to be moved off of the books, United should probably look to bring in a centre-back for under 40 million to add some depth to that area. So what do United need from a centre-back? Well, even though Solskjaer will probably remain the manager until the summer at least, it seems that Pochettino will be his successor sooner rather than later, so it's wise to factor in Pochettino's style of play as well when signing new players. United need a centre-back who is good in the air. They have a dreadful record from both defending and scoring set pieces this season, with Maguire and McTominay the only real aerial presences in the side. So adding someone who has this ability would be a massive asset to United, not just because of this, but also because this is an area in which Lindelof is very poor in. Ball playing ability is also needed for United's right-sided centre-back. This is because often this season, when the opposition side have pressed Maguire's side of play, United have found it difficult to progress the ball forward, so having a right-sided centre-back who can move forward with the ball and play incisive passes into players between the lines would take the burden off of Maguire and the midfield double pivot in front of them. Obviously, positional awareness and overall defensive ability is key, but I've also looked for players who are under 25, as United want to build a side for the next 3 to 5 years. So even though splashing 65 million on Koulibaly would drastically improve United's backline, it wouldn't be a long-term option. And with other more important areas needing strengthening, a budget of around 30 to 40 million for a centre-back seems more reasonable. So the 3 options that I would pursue if I was Manchester United would be Demiral of Juventus, Akanji of Borussia Dortmund and Konate of RB Leipzig. All of the players are under the age of 25 and would probably cost around 30 to 35 million. Demiral is 21, almost 22, and was signed by Juventus from Sassuolo. He is an excellent sliding tackler both high up the pitch and around the box, and possesses the aggression needed in a one-on-one situation to put his body in between the player and the ball and win the ball back for his team. In the 14 games he played for Sassuolo last season, before moving to Juve, he was only dribbled past 0.2 times per game, which is a fantastic record, particularly for a player playing at a mid-table side. He's a lot better than Lindelof in this regard and also has the ability to read the game and step out from the back line and intercept a pass into a forward, which is a similar trait to that of Harry Maguire. Even though he is decent on the ball, this is definitely a part of his game that he could improve, as he doesn't have the same dribbling ability or ability to play incisive passes forward that either Akanji or Konate have. He is sometimes a bit erratic when faced with important defensive situations and can overcommit sometimes. Nevertheless, he will only be 22 in the summer and probably will be available for around 35 million, considering he isn't a starter at Juve, so should definitely be looked at by United. Konate at Leipzig has the same physicality and athleticism that Demiral has. Both players are very quick across the ground and aggressive in the tackle. Konate, however, is a better player right now in my opinion. He's very good at anticipating passes into the forward line, and once he has stepped out to win the ball back, he has the composure to pick a pass forward or keep possession. He's also very good in the air, which is something United drastically need. He won the 7th most aerial duels of any centre-back in the Bundesliga last season with 3.7 per game, and only losing 1.6 per game in the process, which gives him a 70% aerial duel success rate, which is a lot better than Lindelof's, which is around 60%. He is better on the ball than Demiral is in terms of dribbling forward with the ball, which is an important asset for a side like United to have, as if the opposition side seeks to leave United's centre-backs on the ball and cut out passing lanes into the midfield double pivot, having a centre-back who can stride forward with the ball can allow United to progress the ball forward a lot easier and add another dimension to their attack. He is an excellent sliding tackler as well, particularly when racing back against an attacker, where he can use his athleticism and long legs to win the ball back. Leipzig have 4 really good centre-backs in Konate, Naldi Mukiele, Dayot Upamecano and Willy Orban, but I think Konate is the best of the lot. He's also extremely young, being only 21 in the summer, so still has a massive amount of developing to do. He'd probably be attainable for around 35 to 40 million pounds and would be my choice ahead of Demiral. The last of my options is Akanji. Akanji is 25 in the summer and is now Borussia Dortmund's first choice centre-back alongside Mats Hummels. He's improved his game massively over the last 2 years, going from a centre-back who's often indecisive when tasked with pushing out of the back line to intercept a ball, to being able to read the game brilliantly and making these types of defensive actions several times in a game. His one-on-one defending ability is very good, and his all-round defensive game shows signs of a top-class player. Whilst he isn't as athletic as the other 2 options in terms of his pace and aggression, he's probably the best out-and-out defender of the 3. He's also the best ball-playing centre-back of the 3 as well. Whereas Konate is better at driving out of the defensive third with the ball, Akanji is a much better long passer, making those sweeping cross-field passes similar to that of Toby Alderweireld. Of the 3, I think Akanji should be United's number 1 option. Whilst he isn't as athletic as the other 2, United under either Solskjaer or Pochettino won't be playing a very high defensive line like a Guardiola or a Brendan Rodgers side, so extremely quick centre-backs aren't as important. He is the best positional and one-on-one defender of the 3. I also think his style would suit Maguire as a centre-back partner a lot better than the other 2. Maguire is good at dribbling out of the ball into the midfield, but doesn't have the same passing range as Akanji, and with the lack of long-range passing ability coming from United's midfield double pivot, having a centre-back who has his skill set becomes a lot more important to the side's offensive system. Akanji has just 2 years left on his contract in the summer and would probably be attainable for around 30 to 35 million pounds because of this, and turning 25 soon, he's young enough to still develop significantly and become the top class centre back that United need alongside Maguire. So that concludes the first area of improvement. I will also be releasing videos talking about who Manchester United should sign in the left back position, in central midfield, in the central attacking midfield position and in the right wing position as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notified when those videos are released. Some of my best videos will also be linked in the description below, including a tactical analysis of Brendan Rodgers' Leicester City, my verdict on 3 central midfielders that Manchester United could sign, my 3-year plan for what Manchester United should do if their reported Saudi Arabian billionaire takeover actually happens, where I specifically look at the transfers they should make over a 3-year period, and my reasoning behind the squad transformation that I propose. I've also got a video analysing Diego Simeone's tactical changes at Atletico Madrid this season, as well as a tactical analysis of Antonio Conte's 5-3-2 system of Inter Milan. I'll also be releasing Champions League tactical previews throughout this month as well, looking at how Atletico Madrid can beat Liverpool and a tactical system they should use. A tactical analysis of Tottenham's round of 16 opponents RB Leipzig, as well as looking at Chelsea versus Bayern Munich, Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and potentially Borussia Dortmund versus PSG. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of those videos. Remember to like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and put your suggestion for video topics in the comment section below.